Hi there, it's Angeline here. Today's Good Day to Plant as always. So today we're just going to be streaming I'll say twice a week. I wouldn't call it a routine. It's kind of like a plant check-in. Morning off with checking in, starting with our in-soil plants. So I'm going to be checking in today on our avocado plant. I had a little shock when it got into this container. However, we're still getting some flowering starting here. Uh, it looks dry. It is dry. I used to water from the top and little gnats are in there. So I moved to watering it from in here and it has been drinking it up. So we are going to just quickly go get our water and then put some water down here and get it watered. So pretty much today I'll be walking around, checking on all my plants and getting them whatever water, nutrition, trimming, that type of stuff that they need. So let's get the water container. I saw someone relieve me of my scissors. Yeah, any spraying they need, misting, all those items. Oh, there goes my scissors. So we're gonna carry our tools around and get these plants what they need to have a good week. So this is how I water this avocado tree. I started watering at the bottom. I would say for me, for this plant, it's been more efficient. I just pour it in the little water holder here. Sometimes people use larger containers. This is good. I do it a lot more often, however, when I pour it in here. And it just basically drinks up the water. Come in, check it. You can see it actually started going down already, which is pretty quick. But I keep checking it for me to check to see if the soil is damp. However, I know for a fact this one is dry because it's kind of leaning, leaves. A couple of things are telling me it's dry. Oh, look, new shoots are coming out. This is cool. It's really nice there. Let's see if I can get it focused in. There you go. Take a picture of that. That is really cool. All right, so we have some new shoots going out, but I also have this piece of cardboard here because before I used to check to see if it would get wet. So to do the test, you want to get your nails done. So that's the little nets I was talking about. You take the cardboard, you put it in, see how deep it goes, and see if it comes out moist. Put it in for a few minutes. But I know, again, this plant is dry. I purposely let it dry out because we were getting a little bit of gnats in there from the wet soil. So I'm like, let me let it dry out and water from down here. So we have our and we are moving on to our next plant. As you can see, yeah, that was from the shock. See me when we repotted it. I'll have that video up eventually. Next one is olive tree. Olive trees look good. We got a lot of new growth, new branches growing in. With the new branches especially, you can tell how they're doing with the water. These are our south-facing windows. So most of my south-facing windows are kind of soil plants, indoor trees, warm areas of the world trees. And here they go. So let me add some doesn't look like it has any dry leaves. It has some flowering going on, just sparingly. I know this one also needs water. It needed water the other day. So I also, if you see these, I leave the type of tree it is in here. Doesn't do anything to it. Kind of leave it in the corner. Just in case I forget, I leave it there. This is a branch from the tree that broke off in a terrible accident. So I put it in here to see what happens. See if it'll root. I just stuck it in there and I keep watering it and we'll see how it goes. But I know this tree is dry. I was picking off some of the dry leaves the other day. So this one I'm just watering. Again, I was using the same brown thing. This plant actually does take a little more water than the other one, but it has so much new growth coming in. Right now I have the fan on to give us some breeze, but that's usually good enough wind. It's light wind. It's a little movement. Get some air circulating. All right, we're going to go to our next set of plants. South facing upstairs. Let's go. I guess I'll do it in order. Let me leave this water. I usually leave that water up there. Let's go for our south-facing other plants. So we have, this one is not south-facing. Plant is hanging out in this temporary spot. It was hibernating for the winter. However, it woke up. This is Palm Wonderful. It is supposed to go outside, not to live there permanently, but to go outside to comfort our other pomegranate tree and have it doing well. However, inside it is really doing well very quickly. But we have to wait for the weather to warm up so I can take it outside. So I'll be taking it outside shortly. But in the meantime, water, add some water at the bottom too. And I'm just waiting to repot it outside. We have this other one, the plant that's supposed to be hanging out with is nothing's going on with it. The sun is, not one leaf has grown on it. It's redoing its stuff. All right, we have our, what do you call it again? Our hydro plants. Well, let's stay in order. Let's go back to our soil plants here. Let me go get my other water container. We're probably gonna end with the hydro plants. Our Meyer lemon, it's little, it's doing its thing. Has some water at the bottom. It's standing straight. It's in good health. It's doing well. These are some grapes. I got them. I'm waiting to plant them outside. I got them probably a week or two ago. However, it's still pretty cold, but they were in the store that day. So I bought them from the store and they're growing inside until it gets warm enough to put them outside and they could just live outside. I'm going to plant them in the ground. I decided to pot them. Probably show that video later. I decided to pot them because I didn't want them in that bag they came in. It's our indoor aloe plant. It's damp enough. So that one's doing fine. It's a mustard green. It's doing fine. These are our sorrel plants. These are seedlings that I'm starting. Well, that's not seedling. That's just an empty pot. But this is kind of like my little seedling corner or things to go outside. The only plant that's probably going to stay in the house is the aloe on this table. Other than that, I kind of just been doing seedlings. If I have some time, I might do some more seedlings today. But for now, we're just, making sure everything's moist. Nothing's drying out. It's tomatoes. I actually planted seeds here. These two are cuttings that came off of, I was just trimming my tomato plant, the hydroponic tomato plant. I said, hey, let's see, let's just see how it goes with a cutting. So I just took a cutting and planted it and we'll see how that's going. But these are just seeds. Let's make sure that they stay moist. Again, these plants are kind of in, I would say, but it's growing. So I don't know, it wasn't a hibernation state. It's coming to life, but it doesn't have any special treatment going on. These two great plants, they're just waiting, just like the other pomegranate tree, waiting for spring to come so they can go outside. We have our navel orange, which is growing. It looks damp, so we don't have to add any water. This pepper tree is just drinking. That was full the other day, and it is taking up all the water it can get. So it's been pretty thirsty. I'm not gonna, as I said, I filled it up the other day. As you can see, some of these pots aren't the pots that the plant came in or the pots they're gonna stay in. When spring comes, I'm gonna take this pepper especially out of its pot. This one, it's on a recovery trip. I kind of just, it had like 2 leaves. One day I'll do a before and after pic. And it's recovering. However, these pots are like the roses in my front yard. This is where those pots came from. But I'm sure this pepper pot is gonna probably need to be potted soon. When it gets spring, I'm gonna move it up to a larger size. I have some other pots waiting. This one, let's see what's going on here. It's not drinking the water at the bottom, so it's fine. However, it is leaning, so we know that it is thirsty. Oh, but I see something. Oh yeah. Uh-oh, I gotta walk around these stairs. I see something. Is that a little, I saw it on the other side. Oh, now I gotta move this chair. There's like a dining room table here. I mean a kitchen table here. See, oh yes. Oh, we got a little, what is this? A mandarin, little mandarin orange here. A mandarin starting up. Woo! Oh, I'm so excited. Again, this one, I've been watering from the bottom. It's because the water seems to just drop through and then the plant's thirsty. So I need to put some change the soil mix to get that to remedy that. So in the meantime, I just water from the bottom. It drinks what it needs. Oh no, it is drinking because it drank. This pot is on feet, so the water only goes. Even though there's a lot more water in there, it only goes up to the top. I mean, it only goes as far as the water line goes. So it just goes from where that water line is down to where you see it now. It doesn't go higher than that. So it does actually need some water because it drank that pretty quickly. And as you can see, the plant is a little thirsty. It's leaning, not a little, a lot. Let me add some. There's not much because of the fact that this plant has feet. But we're going to, in the spring, I'm going to change some things up. I don't want to change the pots, but I'm going to change some watering. Here we go. I was thinking of probably putting a hole in the feet. That might make things a little easier so you can get that water that's at the bottom there. So let me just add, it's just adding, it adds only a few inches. It lifts it up to the top. But once I know it's still drinking those few inches, I know it's still definitely drinking the water. And again, this plant's in great health. It's just quite thirsty and leaning. This one was leaning far over, now standing up. It still looks like it needs some water. I think this one definitely needs to be potted in a bigger pot. I'm trying to wait till spring. Spring is only a couple of weeks away. So we just give it a couple of weeks. It could survive in a small house for a couple of weeks. So it's not the end of the world. Let me add some to it. Because now I'm looking on the other side. The leaves are kind of hangy. They're hanging a little bit. There's a lot of flowers on this. And add some water. But I do know it needs, I know it needs a bigger pot. This is one of those little teeny pepper plants. Wow. At least I just got close and they're moving. All right. Sometimes also when I'm here, give it a little shake to help with it. But you see how the leaves are so dry, they're just falling off. No, but I give it a little shake to help with its pollination, so to say. But it's self-pollinating. Just give it some assistance. Go into our hydroponic plants. So over here, I have a deep water culture going on. Here, this plant is taking over. This one's not doing too bad, but the rest of the plants in this deep water culture are striving. Yes, they're striving. They're striving. So let's see what's going on under here. Wow, the roots are clean, clear. I feel like this pepper is doing its best. It's thriving in here. Maybe I might take out some of the smaller ones that are kind of struggling to get by. This one just moved in the other day, and it's doing pretty good. So I'm such in a light. I have some food water, and then I carry regular water. You see this one? Sugar on the roots. The water's good. So you can see the roots are going in here. This is our celery. And this one, you can't really tell inside, so sometimes I give it a little shake to see how much water is in here. However, it's also doing pretty good. While I'm over here, I'm just gonna pick up my plants do need water, so I'm gonna pick up a water container and a food liquid moisture container and head over hydroponics scene. My light didn't come on today. So these are our Kresge method plants. Usually we put it on early in the morning. All right, so let's see what's happening here. Pepper plant's doing pretty good. Wow, this Swiss chard is doing extremely good. It's doing better than over in the other room. Wow. All right, so we have our Swiss chard. We have our oregano. Our oregano is also growing. I think I might have to move it to a larger container like this. This basil's rooting pretty well. That also can move to a larger container. The good thing is that these recycled milk containers, with water in them, they are in no short abundance. The people are drinking milk every single day. The kids are just inhaling it every week. So we have an unlimited supply of containers. This is some onions living in a cup. Let's see what's going on. Getting a little algae. The algae is bad, but it's not too bad as long as the plant itself is a little mature. The algae is not too much of a problem. It's like you don't want algae on this one or the seedlings. But when they're bigger, like, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes I rinse out the water and rechange the water, and that kind of gets rid of it, gets like a fresh start. But we have this one rooting, which is great. So we can move that to a larger situation. So is this one. These are plants that I cut off of another plant. So to get it regrowing. So it is rooting, and then brand new leaves are forming down here. So we have our new basil growing. This one, the roots are in the water, so I'm not going to raise the water. Some more oregano. And we have celery that's just out of control. Woo! Celery everywhere. We definitely got to make some juice. Some more pepper. I just shake the stem. I kind of hit the bottle. You can hold the bottle to the light and see like the lightness here, but for the most part, I just tap it, see how it's going. Some of these celery plants, I tap the bottle. This plant's half done. The water. I just put water in it last week, and it's halfway down. The celery drinks water like there's no tomorrow. It's just inhaling the water. I have some I don't know, some babies here. This spinach took like months to germinate. And then this is me also trying, this is the plant that I was trimming. I was trimming the tomato plant last week. And this is the piece of the tomato plants. I put 2 in dirt and 1 in here. And we'll see if it roots and I could replant it or whatever. I also have 2 plants. I have what they are, Swiss chard and pink celery. Sometimes in the cubes, you don't see if there's extra seeds in there. So before I put something else, another seed in there, I put the plant on to make sure there's nothing growing in there. Oh, peppers. They're always hidden in the cut. We got some little pepper plants growing out of our Craftsky method. Boy, that's nice. They just be in there hanging out. So they're growing in. The celery is doing well. I'm going to plant some more lettuce. Again, I was thinking about if I had some extra time to do seedlings. It looks like I might have to do it another day. All right, so let's do our other hydroponic room. So most of my hydroponic plants, because I use the light with them, they are in the north-facing rooms, which I know doesn't get a lot of natural sunlight. So they get the fake sunlight. Take the light. So let's check on these plants. As you can see, they need trimming. Lettuce is on its way out, which is why I need to plant some more lettuce going on. We have our cilantro. I don't think it's time for a root check. I will be eating some tomatoes today. We got some tomatoes here growing. Yeah, some of these leaves that aren't flowering, I was doing some trimming. It's the time. The time is growing. It's growing up here. So the tomato plant, I ate these tomatoes. Some back here. As you can see, the roots here are going. But I just this one, it's not too much checking. Some of these are also growing. We have this plant here. It needs something to stand on. We are going to figure this out, what I'm going to use. The other ones are actually being held up. So I know that broke for the same reason. I was just pulling this off. All right, let's get the twisty ties, which I don't know where they are. And get some twisty ties to tie that up. This dill also fell down, so we're gonna tie that up. Everything looks pretty okay here. We have our flowers going in. I think it needs a little more often watering. This Swiss chard didn't come through yet, but it's okay. It's being hidden by the peppers. This pepper plant it's quite a few peppers growing on under there. Living their life. The basil is bolting, so I'm gonna have to cut that tip off. Although I like basil, I realize it. I love it. It tastes great. I just don't use it that much. See what's going on with our jalapenos. We got a little jalapeno situation going on here. Definitely gonna need to do some seedlings. So we have our lettuce. Yeah, we need to get the lettuce, get it together. Let me check. These are on their own, so they're not being watered. So this one, the water is a half. I'll let that wait for a little while. This one, it is light. So when it's light, I pull it down. Yeah, it needs some water. So let's add some water to this. And this plant here, it's also growing. Wow. I don't think it's supposed to stay there. I think that plant, something happened to it. I was probably cleaning and I left it there. I was like, what is this doing here? I was cleaning, I left it here. Sorry, plant. I'm gonna put you in the main group, especially these Bolton lettuces. I'm gonna have to put you there. Hello, how are you today? Good morning. Hi. So we're looking here. This one needs some water. You can tell, look, it's drying out. So let me pick this up and add water to it. So sometimes I do water with food or a mixture of both. Whoa. I'm gonna add some water. Some no food water. Plain water. Because the water in my water container is super concentrated, I pulled the sock down. Yes. You ready for lift up? Wow, this one is packed, these roots. Ooh. All right, so this is where you're like, it needs to be in a bigger container. I'm going to have to probably come back, I wouldn't say tomorrow, but the next day, and move some of these plants that are in small containers to bigger containers. Today, this morning, we're just doing watering. So that's some mint down there. Oh, yes. Ooh. Now, these lights come on a little later on in the day. Close to turn around like 9. It's very early right now, so they're on an auto timer. They're going to come on later. It's still full of water. You can feel the heaviness. Still full of water. This one, I don't know, the roots are reaching the water. So it's Swiss chard. This is the first time I'm putting Swiss chard in here. Question is the roots reaching the water? Yes. All right, so this one is good. Probably needs a little more light. It's going like this. That's when I move it over to here. I'm going to switch these because this plant is getting a lot of light. It's actually burning it a little. Move it over here and put the Swiss chard under the higher, brighter light. Ugh. So you're going to move the Swiss chard here. See, this celery didn't like its move at all. It fainted. Yeah, it's not in direct light in any direction. I'll probably have to put it back over in the other room with the other ones. We have our pepper tree here thriving. See, it has water. Yep, it's full of water. It's doing good. This tomato plant, this pepper plant, it was one of the weaker ones. So all these pepper plants are the same age, and they all came from one seeding. And I was supposed to thin them, and then I didn't want to give them away. So then I put them in these jars to see how this worked, and here they are. So let's check here. So some of them are weaker than others. This one, a little weaker. This one, oh, this plant needs water. And then that lettuce is going to go. That was a test. Some of them we're testing. See how this works. I put some lettuce down here because the cauliflowers are their time to go. So they are going to be, the mini cauliflowers have grown. So I'm going to be putting lettuce in there for more of my salads. And the cucumbers, I have too many cucumbers on the thing. So I'm watching them very carefully. If you have too many cucumbers, sometimes it hinders the other cucumbers from growing. So I've been doing like extra watering. Boy, there are quite a few of them here. Here's one growing there. Another one growing here. But they're like, if they're turning yellow, you know, there's too many of them on the branch, so to say. So to make sure I keep them good, I've been doing extra waterings on this. Hasn't been bothering any of the other plants, but here they are. All right, so this one needs water. Again, these all came from the same planting and they all grew at the same time. But these were the seedlings that, you know, it's time to thin. These were they. Let me put this down. There she goes. Oh yeah. The water is low. Let me put some fruit water in there. Whoops. This is a very high concentrate, so I always mix it. And then some of these plants that aren't doing well, we're gonna either switch some things up or move them around. But these plants were, you know, you plant 5 seeds, and out of the 5 seeds, the one that thrives, you're supposed to leave it. Well, I was like, I can't get rid of them. So some of them, you know, try to see what we could do. All right. Other than that, we have this our nursery plants. So these are going to go in the machine soon. Probably another day, we'll probably have to go live again to see how they're doing. This flower plant is coming out because I don't really know what to do, what to eat, how to use it. So I'm going to put it in a standing plant like this one, and probably put one of these plants that are doing okay but can use this system better in here. All right, so let's see what else I have to do for my plants today. Well, we were supposed to do some trimming and add water. Now these, I'm probably not gonna go over adding water to them. Oh, let's check the water for this. It's good. This is another dill plant. Just add water in this thing here until the app says that it's up to 5 gallons. That's pretty much it. The reason I'm not gonna put it on the camera is because I'm using the phone, so then I can't see the app, which is what I realized earlier. But I'm gonna have to do that after I get off phone with you guys. But there is some trimming to be done. You see there are some dry leaves. This entire plant needs to come out. I am not going to do taking out too many plants this morning because I don't know where the tripod is. Oh, there it is. Let's see how much time I have. Let's see if we have time to take the plants out and put some other ones in. Let's see what time it is. Is it time? We have about 15 minutes. All right, let's put the tripod up and do that. Get some moving around done. This should be quick. The tripod's actually in my hand. Very much here. Let's get it set up. I'm so excited about spring. Once spring comes, we could do our outdoor planting. I have a garden stalk that I'm looking forward to putting up outside. I'm going to put it up kind of in my sunroom. There we go. I need 2 hands of trimming. Also, I think the young folks, after I was like, yeah, I think they took my scissor. Then I found my scissor and then my trimming scissor. And then I realized, no, it's still gone. So we're going to just do some trimming and some moving some plants around. All right, so this plant needs to come off, but I'm not going to do it now. Let's see what needs to be trimming. This one needs some of these dry leaves to come off. Some of you can just pull them off. I'm using my trimming. These aren't my trimming shears. These are my harvesting shears. But the ones I use for trimming, they took upstairs, so I ventured to go back there. But I was trimming these plants. This one is doing pretty good. It's plants growing out everywhere. Any extra dry leaves could come off. Give this plant some energy back. Some of its energy to grow more tomatoes. You can see it's rooting a lot down there, so there's no need for it to be going through all this. That's taking all its energy. Let's take this whole part off. Anything that doesn't look super healthy can come off. Especially since it's in a limited size container. It has limited root size. See what else we got here. The basil and trim I saw it bolting, so I'm going to cut off the bolting section, go down a couple of nodes, cut it off completely. Even though it is bolting, I'm going to eat this. So that's the basil area. Let's bring it back here so you can see what's going on. Oh, it smells so great. Woo! All right, let's see what's going on here. This tomato plant, this one I have been eating. Just any dry leaves, give them a little snip. Anything that looks like it's turning yellow, just gonna snip this off and go from here. I'm dropping it on the floor, probably come back around, sweep it. The room will probably come back around, sweep it. Oh, as you see, I let this drop. Usually take them off because if sometimes when they fall in the other plants, you know, they spoil in the other plants. So it's not always the wisest thing to do. This one I was trimming and see the leaf was just hanging on by a thread. Anything dry. That means usually that happens when I'm like trimming. A lot of these lettuces are going to be going. This is arugula here growing in this corner. Let's see any of these coming off. They're green, but they're not doing the best. So, all right, everything is some dryage happening. Just gonna prune these, do some pruning. New word is gonna come to me eventually. This is interesting enough. That one's a sucker, and this one's dry. I'm cutting these all off. It's not necessary. Some of these plants, it's not necessary for them to be super large to fruit. They can fruit at very small sizes, and then new healthier plants will grow in. So you just cut off any extensions that they're not fruiting. They're just, just there. You want to have as much fruiting leaves as possible. So the extensions like these are very healthy. That's staying very healthy, flowering. They're staying. So it's a little dry here. But any of the extensions that aren't so healthy and don't have flowers on them, they go. Anything that looks like it's drying, like these, are very healthy plant. There's two stems coming out of that one. There we go. We trimmed off a little bit of our tomato. I think we're going to put that lettuce in. Let's see if we have time to do this cauliflower today. Yeah, I'm going to take this cauliflower out. I wonder if it's labeled as a cauliflower, mini cauliflower. Let's see. Yep. This one of the reasons why I'm not rushing to take it out is I know it's going to be a little project. The roots in this one, it's in there. The roots in the cauliflower are pretty strong. So I'm going to save that for another day. I'm just going to do some trimming. Tomorrow I'll be more, not tomorrow, Wednesday, I'll probably take that cauliflower out, harvest it. And maybe we can go, and these would be in a better condition too. Our nursery plants down here, be a little more grown. We're going to put them in there. Let's see what needs to be trimmed here. This plant I trimmed the other day. This tomato plant. It's going to trim this one. This is actually the baby leaf. I forgot what it's called. They stay on and grow, but they usually also turn color. All right, let's cut this off. There we go. Keep everything nice and green and healthy. Let's see how this basil is doing. Spinach is doing okay. Basil is doing its thing. This plant's thriving over here. The rosemary is growing pretty good. But yeah, these lettuces I'm gonna have to plant some little ones in our nursery to get them started. Oh, this tomato, I'm gonna put the thing here for this tomato. That's our internet. This tomato needs a lot of pruning. So you can see everything's just falling off. It let go of itself. As you can see, it has quite a few up here. So this is a good one to prune to make sure that those little tomatoes get as much as they can. Let's prune this one. Sometimes you want to take too many leaves off, you know, it needs the leaves to collect the sun. But get as much as you can off. I think there's a good amount of food in here. So we did some trimming on this one. And again, this was out of the same batch. The healthiest one is in the garden and then in those jars. These are some of the ones that were like, they're not quite making it, but we'll see what we can do. We can rehabilitate them. So they are they are in these jars doing what they can. All right, so I think, let's see what time it is. We have a few more minutes. I have to check the time because this is part of, you know, the rest of my morning. Let me just do the water really quickly. They're both in need of water. For this one, I usually just put the water in and I wipe it down. There's a whole little jungle going here. Try to make sure nothing gets into the water. So I make sure this is a gallon with food, with nutrients. Okay. Oh, yeah. So yeah, a gallon with nutrients versus it's supposed to be 2 gallons per nutrient. Then I'm gonna put 1 full empty gallon of just still water that was sitting. Yeah. So I let the water sit and it comes off. It gets rid of, like, you know, things like chlorine, fluoride. They have like a shorter life. You just let the water sit. Again, I've been reusing these milk containers. This is a little under a gallon. So I put this in here. I purposely spill a little bit of water on top so I can wipe down the sheet. So this should be 2 gallons in here. And this one, the other one also needs 2 gallons, I believe. But I have to, again, look at the app to see exactly how much. This is the kale growing. We have the sweet peppers growing in here. Give you more of a close-up look. This is kale right here. This is a winter kale. But we got quite a few more sweet peppers in here growing. That's the only thing over there is I can't remember which ones are sweet, which ones are not. So we're gonna do a little more labeling. This is where I put the water in. Yes, I know you dropped what you were playing with. Don't worry, you can pick it up. Let me wipe off here. So that's why I put some water up here so I can get some of this stuff and wipe it off. I try my best. Let me close this. I try my best not to let leaves or anything grow in here and fall in there, because then they'll spoil and there'll be another issue. Put the cover back on. Again, I have to check with the app to see exactly how much water is in there. You can kind of see. I know that I put about 2 gallons in, even though I use some of that water along our journey. Okay, let's do some trimming on this one. Oh yeah. It's like the sucker's growing and then suck the life out of the main one, and then the sucker is the main one, and then the other plant is, the side one is a problem. All right, here's another, it's a little snip here. Let's get this. Snip here. Yeah, a little snip here. There we go. Keep everything nice and green. I'm gonna, again, our next meeting, which probably be in a day or two, because We need to add some more. I want to eat more lettuce. And there's quite a few. So I have 3 plants to replace the 3 mini cauliflowers right now growing, but I also am gonna need some plants. I also need a stick. I didn't know that the plant in the jar was gonna be so large that it needed a stick. So there you go. So I'm gonna have to pick 3 plants. I guess we could do that live, or you can tell me what you think. Later, I'm gonna need 1, because that one's on its way out. 1, 2, 3, 4 lettuces, 5 lettuces to be replaced here. And then I already picked 3 to replace the 3 mini cauliflowers that are coming out. So I need 5 lettuce decisions to add to replace the cauliflower that has just okay. Oh, I'm getting confused. No. We have cauliflower 1, 2, and 3. No. And right now we have green, Seralina, brine, mini broccoli, and salad bowl are gonna replace that. I have a basil plant in here that's rooting, so I'm just checking, seeing how that's going. No. The basil seems to be doing much better. In Kresge. In the Kresge corner over there. But yes. She's upset her mouse isn't working. Mouse. Computer mouse. But we're gonna have to pick out some lettuce to put in here, or some other plants and vegetables that I'm gonna put in these spaces. So I will talk to you guys next time. Yes. It has been myself. And we have Adelini with us also. Anyhow, I'll talk to you next time. Stay green. Bye.